Satyen Yadav, who will speak about Indian millets. I now request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. As I am introduced, I am Dr. Satyen Yadav. I am going to talk about Indian millets through a India Millet Initiative, which we promoted last year to celebrate Indian Millet International Year of Millet 2023. So let's start this presentation to give you an idea about the Indian millets as well as India Millet Initiatives. So this is a little background. This is how it was promoted in association with the technical support from Agriculture University at Jaipur. It's through a center called Rajasthan Agriculture Research Center. It's an ICR organization, along with a commercial support from Life Foundation, One Life Foundation. And the specialty why we joined hands with the Agriculture University is to have biofortified millets. Normally millets has iron content and zinc content, which is enough, but recently the fortification biofortification has been promoted. So this variety which we took from Rajasthan Agriculture University, Jobner, has 100% more iron and 100% more zinc. So we call it biofortified millets. So there are various varieties. So we are promoting one pulse millet RHP 234, and this One Life Foundation has signed an agreement for taking parental lines from the university, and we are all together doing it to promote fortification in India as well as in other countries. Now, a little bit about millets. I think a lot of noise has been made in the country at the moment. Everybody knows how good is the millet and what is the goodness of the millet. I don't think we need to talk about it, but still, it is very good for lowering your cholesterol, blood pressure, and diabetic because of low glycemic index. So it's a wonderful product. Digestibility is very good because it maintains alkaline pH even after the consumption. Normally, food turns to acidic, which gives you the troubles in digestion and other things. But millets are very good for digestion because of the pH values. In India, the government of India has announced or adopted 10 nutri cereal crops, and out of 10 nutri-cereal crops, there are three major millets: sorghum, which is called jowar; pearl millet, which is called bajra; and finger millet, which is called ragi. And they are distributed in different agroclimatic zone depending upon their niche climate. The minor millets are five: foxtail millet, Poroso millet, Kodo millet, Barnyard millet, and Little millet. They have a different names in different states. And similarly, there are two pseudo millets. One is the buckwheat, and another is the amaranth, which is called cholai. And the buckwheat is called kutu, which is normally consumed in India during the fasting. People they consume it a lot in fasting seasons like Navratri and other fasts. So now, to talk about the macronutrient, it has very good quantities of protein, carbohydrates, vitamin B6, dietary fibers, omega 3, omega 6, vitamin E, simple carbohydrate as well as complex carbohydrates, trans fat, and unsaturated fats. So these are the some macronutrients, and in addition to the macronutrients, it has micronutrients like vitamin D, zinc, potassium, calcium, cobalt, thiamine, riboflavin, magnesium, vitamin E, iron, selenium, vitamin B12, niacin, vitamin K, chromium, phosphorus, cobalamin, vitamin C, vitamin A, folate. These are the very, very critical micronutrients which are not found in most of the other crops and cereals. So this millet is a bundle of nutrition. We call it a powerhouse of nutrition. So all the millets they have different ratios, but largely they have all these macro and micronutrients. And now, what benefits farmers are going to have? Normally, if you see the paddy crops, paddy and wheat cycle is very prominent in the North India, which takes a long time. While this is a short crop, 60 to 90 days crop, and it needs about one fourth of the water. And normally you see the paddy and rice, paddy, it takes around 1400, 1500 millimeter of water, while this can be grown easily 300, and it can sustain very high temperature even up to 65 degree. So it is a climate resilient crop. So it has a lot of advantage in addition to the nutritional values. And now the problem is there is a huge gap between demand and supply. This crop was suppressed by promotion of wheat and rice in North India and other part of the country. A lot of subsidies, a lot of incentives, a lot of promotion was done to push wheat and rice. So ultimately, farmers they stopped growing it, and slowly, it has almost you know come to the level where it needs to be promoted. Maybe earlier people were not knowing about the goodness of the millet. And old times, everybody used to eat millets in all the rural areas. If you anyone from the rural areas, they'll understand that they used to eat millet 40, 50 years. And at that time, it was a common man's meal. And later on, it became a poor man's meal, and now it's become a rich man's meal because it's quite expensive now because of the values and virtues of the millets known to everybody. So now it has to be promoted properly. It has to be pushed, and awareness has to be created so that people they start consuming more millet, and the demand increases so that the government can push farmers to grow. Because unless until the gap is not maintained, there is not going to be enough crop to be procured, and they should start buying at the MSP or whatever mechanism government decides to push the marketing system. Then only the farmer will grow. Though the yield is good, the grains is they get a good price for the grain, as well as they get the good price for the biomass also. Almost similar price they get for the biomass. If you take an example of pearl millet, which has around 3.5 tons in a hectare, and the biomass gets around 7.5 tons. So and the price is almost same. So you get almost double of the price of the grain through fodder, because the fodder is bought around 20 rupees, 18 rupees, 19 rupees, and almost similar prices for the pearl millet grains. So it is a very beneficial crop, but farmer needs to understand. They need to understand the market metrics and the high quality seeds, the fortified seeds or high yielding seeds. So these are the few things which are to be pushed and which are to be promoted by the government. The government of India at the moment is pushing a lot, promoting millets, different kind of millets, creating awareness, generic promotion, and many things are happening now. Now, the United Nations is also pushing it. That's why this year 2023 has been announced as the International Year of Millet, and it directly supports three sustainable goals. Number one, number two, number three: no poverty, zero hunger, and good health and well-being. Though it indirectly supports other sustainable goals also, but the one, two, three is directly related to the millet crops. So it is very, very important as far as this sustainable development goals of United Nations are concerned. Now, the opportunities through government sponsored schemes. You all know that there are the India is running largest government sponsored scheme, which is called midday meal, integrated child development schemes through Anganwadis, and the malnutrition and poverty alleviation, and so on and so forth. So through farmer producer organization, the procurement agency, because the government has given a mandate to the FPOs to procure grains, crops. So they can be given as a channelizing agency to procure the grains through school children meal scheme. If it is consumed, if it is introduced, though government has issued the notifications that millet should be introduced in the school children program, but it is not happening, and almost 2 months have gone of the year 23, but still people are talking and planning. I don't know when it is going to happen. So it should be a recommendation that the government should quickly implement the millets in school programs through malnutrition schemes. This is also another area where the malnutrition can be addressed because of the high value nutrition values in the millets. And there are some schemes, they are state based, or as well as by different groups for hunger alleviation. So all these schemes should include the millets so that the millet demand increases and the farmer get motivated for production. Now this is a small model which I propose to integrate from seed to plate. We promoted India Millet Initiative. At the left hand side, you can see the banks and government interventions available. At the top, there are various support system available through Department of Extension and ICR and other agencies. So this should be brought to the a group. we can call it farmer producer organization or company through farmer interest group. And the value addition center can be promoted with the help of the corporate because it is an investment oriented project. The processing needs investment. So there can be a SPV between the corporates and the FPOs, and the millets can be procured from through FPOs, and the high value added products can be processed, and they can be sold through direct marketing by giving an opportunity to the unemployed youths. So we have a model we propose, we call it millet on the wheels. So we have developed some kiosks, we have developed some e-rickshaws to market the value added products. That will open an opportunity for the people who needs livelihood option, as well as people can have easy access to good quality food and highly nutritious food. And now this is another model which we are proposing for the government sponsored schemes. And you can see if the government and corporates, they decide all the protocol and recipes for school meals, because millet is not very easily consumed. People, they don't know many options to eat, but there can be a wonderful recipes, wonderful options to include as per the palate of the children. Recently, Government of India's various institutions have written various books, recipe books, as per the liking of the North India, South India, and Pan India. So this is the scheme. If it is introduced with this kind of integration, this will really going to take a long way these millet crops which have been suppressed for a long time. And this is another model which I say, to strengthen the women interest group as well as the school program. Here, the government agencies can again club with the startup processing units or maybe self-help group or farmer interest group. NSPB can be promoted, and all these groups together can implement the program. The sponsored meal scheme of Government of India, the fund can come from Government of India as well as from state directly to the SPB, and they can distribute the meals to the beneficiaries through self-help groups or different small groups, either farmer interest group or the women empowerment group. So this can open many opportunities for these two groups which are required support at the moment, and government is also focusing them to be empowered. And now, this is the status of the country, world status for the millet as well as in India. If we see India along with some West African countries like Nigeria, Niger, Mali, this covers almost 98% of the millet of the world. So you see the strength, and Nigeria, this Western African countries or African countries are being looked for the food security options in future 2030 and beyond. And similarly in India, the Rajasthan is the largest grower of pearl millet, 39% it has. And then South India has minor millets, and similarly the Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra. Maharashtra has a sorghum. Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, they are good in finger millets and minor millets. So this is a general distribution of millet crops in India as well as globally. Now, this is the most critical component post-harvest management, because it reduces the losses, and it has the problem of developing aflatoxins. So post-harvest, if it is not handled carefully, if there is a moisture content, or if it is poorly handled, the shelf life will go away. It will not be able to be stored for a long time. So this is to be handled very carefully. The post-harvest technologies are not available at the moment in India. We have also negotiated a technology from International Institute of Tropical Agriculture from Ibadan, and we are trying to bring this technology to India. We call it AflaSafe, which ensures free aflatoxin free grains like groundnut, millets, maize, soybean, and other crops. But at the moment, it is not available. So there is always a rejection of the export of groundnut, maize, soybean, etc. Now, this is the challenges in post-harvest management. As I told you, there is inadequate storage, proper storage, inefficient technology, lack of knowledge, economic constraints, and lack of awareness and value addition. Recently, I was in Africa 3 days before, and I saw that the people are using the old storage method as we used to do it in India 30, 40 years ago. So similar kind of status is there. but people are eating millets every day almost. Of course, the methodology is very different. They eat millets in a very crude method. Either they mix water and some sweets or some salt, or normally not salt but sugar, and they drink it like that, or they mix with the flour with the water and make a solid ball and eat with the mutton and chicken or fish. So this is two, three, four methods which they are using to consume millets. But it is for sure that every day, one meal, one time at least, they eat millet, and that's why you see their health condition. It is much more strong than in comparison to Indians. So millet is really a wonderful product for wonderful health. And these are the post-harvest operations and management, like cleaning, sorting, grinding, dehulling, polishing, paste or fungal treatments, which I was talking about, like aflatoxins, curing and mining, transport, loading, stacking, and then the value addition. Value addition can be ready to eat product, ready to consume product, extruded products, like you must be seeing kurkure, puffs, noodles, pasta. All these products can be made, and of course the fermented products can be made in the form of various drinks, and it can be stored properly after finishing, polishing, and cleaning the grains for 3 to 6 or to up to 1 year, even if it is carefully stored. Now, the value addition millets, these are the few technologies which are available in India. There are institutes like Indian Institute of Millet Research, uh, Post Harvest Management Institute in Ludhiana, and Raipur in Karnataka, and CFTRI, NIFTEM, Tanjore, NIFTEM, Sonipat. These are the premier institutions which are working on technologies for different products. They have developed more than 500 products. If you collect all the products available in India, they will cross the list of 1,000 products of all the 10 crops. So lots of products are available, different kind of products available as per the local needs and local requirement and the palatability. Now, I have given you some examples here, like noodles, vermicelli. Everybody knows noodles, but noodles of atta, I mean the maida, they are very, very harmful. Here, if you take millet noodles, foxtail noodles, jowar noodles, ragi noodles, they're highly beneficial for your health, and they have no side effects of gluten because it's a gluten-free food. Similarly, you can have the millet flax. You can make poha, you can make breakfast cereals, and the bakery products are available. All kind of biscuits can be made, gluten-free biscuits can be made, and puffed snacks like kurkure and puff balls and other things, and different kind of namkeens, farsad, like in Maharashtra they call it farsad. It is very, very popular, the namkeens. In South India also they have a different recipes of namkeen. In North India we have different schemes, but they are very tasty and very palatable and healthy as well. As normally the namkeens which are available are not very healthy because of different kind of spices and different kind of grains, but these are made from millets. All the millets are very good grains, so various options are available to consume the millets. Now, projections and achievements. India Millet Initiative took many initiative in the country, like promoting millets, promoting awareness, developing recipes. We have written, 10 recipe books of each crop, around 50 to 60 recipes of each crop, like all minor millet, major millet, and pseudo millets. And we have also written 10 books on package and practices, and this is what we have done so far. And we also promoted a Nigeria millet initiative because we wanted to integrate with West African country, because we need a market, we need a big market. So Nigeria and other West African countries is a consumer market. They have millets, but they don't know how to eat it. And it can be exported from there to the other countries, the Europe, America. From here also it can be exported, because the developed countries, they are very much aware about the good quality food, and they have the paying capacity also. So if it is organically grown, properly processed with high quality processing technology, there is a huge future of processed food export from India. And I think we should not miss this opportunity to avail it, and it will open many doors for the entrepreneurs to have the processing facilities. And many state governments are giving many incentives, like Rajasthan government has announced 1 crore rupees projects, out of which they are giving 40% subsidy and it is integrated with the NABARD's warehousing scheme. So every state has, some unique schemes to support the entrepreneurship. So I request all the entrepreneurs and industrialists to come forward to have the millet processing facilities and rather integrated facilities. Even there is an opportunity to have a food park of the millets where all kind of millet can be processed, all kind of products can be made, and which will really take Indian farmers ahead, especially the small and marginal farmers. They'll be strengthened because they have the small land holding, and they can grow grains for selling in the market, and they can grow fodder to feed their animals. So it is a dual beneficial crop for the human consumption as well as for the livestock. So this is a small film which we did recently when this India Millet Initiative was launched in Rajasthan. This journey of millet initiative, it was conceived somewhere way back 2004 when I was asked to focus on millet while I was working on potatoes value chain. So this was the time when the food for thought came to my mind, and now it has become the need of the hour. हो सकता है कि ये हमारी आज की जो डाइट है व्हीट राइस की टोटली जो है वो चेंज हो जाए, और उसके लिए एक प्रिपेयर्डनेस भी हो सकती है हमारी, न्यूट्रिशनल रिच है और लाइट सॉइल में भी अच्छी ये क्रॉप हो जाती है.
Millet, as we all know, is a staple food which has got zinc, all minerals. We can consume it as it were without adding extra components to it. It was considered as a tribal food because 14% of the India's millet production was from tribal belts.
Millet can help you to reduce diabetes. Millet can help you to reduce cancer. Millet can reduce micronutrient deficiency in the country. Millets can help you to address the issues of iron deficiency anemia in the country. It has so many benefits. We all actually forgotten these things.
Keeping in mind the climate change issues, this crop is highly suitable for the climate issues because it can be grown everywhere in the country. It doesn't need much water.
Take any of the 11 millets, they use anywhere between 350 to 400 millimeters of water, whereas it is more than 1200 to 1600 millimeters of water for sugarcane and rice. And since we are going to witness deficiency of water in the days to come for agriculture sector, millets are the only ray of hope.
पहले जो लोग थे, पुराने लोग बाग थे, अपने फूड में बाजरे का इनकॉर्पोरेशन रखते थे, लेकिन जैसे जैसे अब हमारी जनरेशन आई, हम बाजरे को बिल्कुल भूल गए. तो आज ये जो प्रदर्शनी हमने लगाई, ये जो सेमिनार की, इसके द्वारा हम एक छोटा सा संदेश लोगों तक देना चाह रहे थे. बाजरे से इतने सारे बाई प्रोडक्ट्स बना सकते हैं.
We started this journey recently, as our Prime Minister talks about. Initially, we were, struggling to have the self-sufficiency for the food, and now we have become self-sufficient. So now the food to other countries. So made in India for growth. That's the slogan we will be adopting for future.
Our fundamental aim of India Millet Initiative is to provide a linkage between farm to the consumer. There is a huge gap between produce, processing, value addition, and to take it to the end customer. We wanted to have different segments of stakeholders hooked on to this particular initiative so that farmer will get his best possible rates as per the state's policy. Then the value addition, the technology intervention and all that can be provided by us at whatever the marginal cost that is possible, optimal benefit you can drive out of it.
ग्रामीण महिलाओं को सशक्त करने के लिए रूरल अर्बन पार्टनरशिप के कंसेप्ट के तहत ग्रामीण महिलाओं के खेत से उगे उत्पाद को शहरी महिलाओं तक हम पहुंचाएंगे. इस प्रयास को हम इंडिया मिलेट इनिशिएटिव के साथ मिलकर कर रहे हैं.
We are integrating with other participating countries like Nigeria and other countries. So this partnership between India and Nigeria is going to, a long way to promote pearl millet, which is called bajra.
As long as humans are concerned. Very importantly, when we're talking about millet, I think to a very large extent, I would say It is compatible with life-given elements. We need to encourage the consumption of millet, not only in terms of food security, but also in terms of the nutritional security of it.
हमने दो बायोफॉर्टिफाइड वैरायटी डेवलप की, RHP 233 और 234। इन दोनों वैरायटीज में जिंक और आयरन जस्ट डबल है जो नॉर्मल बाजरे में होता है। तो हम लोगों में और जो इंडिया मिलिसिटिव में जो सत्यन यादव सर हैं उनके दिमाग में चीज आई कि क्यों न हम इन दोनों वैरायटीज का ऐसा कोई एनहेंस करें जिसमें फार्मर्स से आप प्रोड्यूस करा के हम मिड डे मील या जो भारत में कुपोषण की प्रॉब्लम है, जो एनीमिया की प्रॉब्लम है, जो रूरल पीपल्स में, रूरल महिलाओं में ये समस्या है, उससे हम निजात कैसे ले सकते हैं।
We have signed an agreement with the SKN University for developing a seed bank so that we can supply the seed to the farmers to grow right kind of produce which can be added value and organic certification, and easily it can be marketed further.
97% of the world's millet production is both from India and Africa alone. Post-COVID, majority of the world population have become health conscious, and we have this as a nice platform to promote it in the international arena. So 2023, as per UN, under the SDG, they have declared 2023 as the International Year of Millet. Ultimately, we wanted to create a platform wherein all these stakeholders come and take a major benefit out of it. By 2023, we will be known as a millet exporting country to the world.
I am here at the farm where we are growing RHB 234 variety, which we have selected for promoting fortified pearl millet, for supporting this India Millet Initiative by giving certified seed to the farmers, and we plan to develop other cereal crops under this banner of millet group crops to be distributed to the farmers with the handholding support, including value addition and market access, so that they sustain and grow further, and our dreams of our Honorable Prime Minister to double the income comes true.
मैं क्योंकि एज ए यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर मैं मिलेट के प्रोडक्ट बनाता हूँ, इस वजह से नहीं चाहता कि मिलेट प्रमोट हो। मैं इस वजह से चाहता हूँ कि आजकल जो आप जितने भी लाइफस्टाइल डिजीज देख रहे हैं ना, उसकी प्रॉब्लम ही हमारे वीट और राइस से स्टार्ट होती है।
हेल्थ जो है वो एक्सपेंसिव फूड से नहीं आता, जो नेचर ने हमें एक औषधि के रूप में दिया है या एक वरदान के रूप में दिया है, उनको पहचानने से और उनको डेली यूज करने से आता है।
SKN Agriculture University Jobner had signed a MOU with HPMI. The chairman, Dr. Satyen Yadav, has took a very initiative to have India Millet Initiative in that direction. We have also signed the one of biofortified millet Bajra hybrid to the A1 company to take up forward.
Here I am with Dr. A.S. Paloda, with whom we are going to initiate this journey of millet, starting from Rajasthan to all over the country and all over the globe in future. Rajasthan Agriculture University has developed fortified varieties for millet, which is going to be spread across the country in all the states of India to promote millet group crops. So thank you very much. It was a small presentation. I hope you all enjoyed and liked it.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you. So, thank you for the presentation. Now I'll take a few questions.
Sure.
Okay. So the first question is, how many kinds of millets are there?
I told you there are, five major millets, so three major millets and five minor millets. So in India, then there are some other millet varieties which are not grown in India, and they are in Japan and some other countries. But in India, largely there are only 8 millet varieties, two pseudo millets, as I told you, buckwheat and amaranth. We call it cholai.
Okay. Okay.
Then
And
cocoa and taffy, etc. They are grown in other countries.
okay. In which states of India millets are grown in large quantity?
There are, I told you, that specific, like the pearl millet is grown in large quantities in Rajasthan, followed by Uttar Pradesh and other states. Finger millet is largely grown in Karnataka. Sorghum is largely grown in Maharashtra. So it is a distribution of all these crops across the country. Minor millets are mostly confined to Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Even in Chhattisgarh, there are minor millets. So it is a mixed cropping system because it was not very much encouraged. So the farmers they grow as per their convenience and as per the market availability. But the millets can be grown across the country. That's very interesting.
Okay.
It depends
And
upon how we promote it.
okay. And how to select a good quality millets, like, or is it only one quality
I know,
millets?
every millet, I mean, every millet has a different kind of nature, different kind of processing protocols, different kind of nutritional benefits, and different kind of food habits. Like bajra, for example. In Rajasthan, bajra is eaten during the winter season because the people they think that it is hot, it gives you a little more heat in the body. So they drink more buttermilk and dahi and kind of a thing, and they consume during winters. And they also eat a lot of ghee to neutralize that. And normally in North India, people they think that bajra should not be eaten during the winters. Similarly, the Karnataka they eat more finger millet, the ragi mudda, and various other things are available. And the whole Maharashtra eats jwar ki roti. So it all depends upon eating habits and availability of the grains and their cultural heritage because it is related to the ancient times. And rural population has their own legacy as far the food habits are concerned.
Right. Okay. And does India export millets?
Yeah, it does export, but earlier it was being exported in a small quantity, but now it is a little increasing because a lot of awareness is made, and I think in coming future, it is going to be a good export from India as far as the millet is concerned.
Okay. Okay. And which is the good season for growing millets?
No, it again I told you it depends upon the specific climate of each state. Sometimes two crops are taken during the summers as well as the winters, the rain-fed as well as irrigated. So depending upon the climate conditions and their irrigational facilities, it can be rain-fed crops also in Rajasthan. But sometimes it is risky because if there is more rain, there is less rain. So but it is grown across the country. Even at the temperate area, also the millets are grown like Uttaranchal, Himachal, and northeastern. So it is a very strong crops which can be grown easily depending upon the seasonality of the area.
Okay. And health-wise, which is, I mean, which millet is good, or all are they good?
All are good. I told you every millet has a different, a little balancing nutritional values. Like foxtail millet has 12-gram protein per 100 gram. Pearl millet has 10 grams, something like that. Then some crop has more zinc, more iron, more different kind of amino acids. So it is a combination of millets. So though people are not aware about those finer details, but if somebody studies it properly, it can be really benefit. And many people, there are many success stories. They have corrected themselves from the diabetes by using consuming millets. So it really helps a lot. But there are no medical studies or those uh, data is available to support those statements. But it helps a lot that we understand. Like for example, I have not eaten wheat for last 4 5 years, not because I have some problem from the gluten, but I don't like. Once I started eating millet, I like little crispy chapati, thick chapati kind of a thing. So it depends upon individual liking. Everybody in my family they eat wheat, but I don't eat wheat. So similarly, the people they are now getting aware and trying to introduce the millets in different forms, breakfast cereals, snacks, and chapatis. Though little difficult to make bajra chapati, but people they are doing it.
Okay.
Sometimes they mix other grains also, like bakery products. Without having wheat, It's a little difficult to make, but we tried various options like guargum, cassava, and other things. So we could develop good bakery products, different kind of biscuits. So the main advantage is with the millets, it is a gluten-free food, and there are two categories which can be promoted. One is the vegan food, another is the gluten-free food. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So now we have the last question. Please let us know a little about your career background and how you got interested in this particular subject.
I'm basically a scientist, and I was a researcher and academician till 1990, and then I resigned from my job and started working with the farmers and entrepreneurs with the aim. It was a passion to help people in the country, because I saw people in other countries growing very big as through agriculture, but in India, agriculture is a option. When they don't find any option, they adopt agriculture. Particularly when 30-35 years ago, when I got into this line, people were making fun of us. But slowly now it's become a hot activity. So everybody is coming into agriculture. So I taught for about 5 years in Pandnagar University, then Kumai University. I was in, then I left it. Now I've been working in India, and I think more than 50, 60 countries. We worked on different projects, different aspects to promote Indian agriculture, Indian horticulture. My basic area is horticulture, but this is the only cereal crop which we adopted somewhere in 2004, when one of my university teacher, he asked me to work on millets. So I adopted it in 2004, and 2018 we got a push when this national year of millet was announced, and now it is big noise because of 2023. Our honorable prime minister is giving a good and very big boost to this crop, and I'm sure that this is going to dominate in the whole of the world, and India is going to be the largest exporter of millet. This is what I hope and I dream, and this is my passion.
Yeah, I think we will achieve that. Okay. Okay. So, okay, Dr. Satyan, I don't see any more questions from participants. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we'd like to thank you for the detailed presentation and answering all the questions in depth. And we also like to thank all the participants for joining this meeting. The meeting will now be closed.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.